Alright, so you're thinking about starting a WordPress site, and you've probably realized one of the first big choices you need to make is where you're actually going to host that site. Hosting, if you're not super familiar with the term, is basically renting space on the internet for your website to live. Every website needs a home, and your hosting provider is kind of like your landlord. They keep everything running and make sure people can visit your site whenever they want. Two of the biggest names you'll come across, especially if you've been Googling around, are Bluehost and GoDaddy. Both are really well known, and you've probably even seen a commercial or two for GoDaddy if you've ever watched TV or been on YouTube for a while. Bluehost is a little more popular in the WordPress world specifically, but they both offer web hosting. They both claim to make things easy, and they both have plenty of fans. So how do you figure out which one's actually right for you? Let's start with Bluehost. One of the main reasons a lot of people go with Bluehost, especially beginners, is because they've really designed their whole setup around WordPress. WordPress, in case you don't know, is the tool you'll probably use to actually build your website, kind of like the software that powers everything behind the scenes. Bluehost makes it super easy to install WordPress with literally one click, and they walk you through a lot of the setup, which can be a lifesaver if you're doing this for the first time. Plus, their whole system is pretty beginner-friendly. The dashboard, which is just the area where you manage everything like your site and email, is clean and not overwhelming, even if you've never done this before. Bluehost is also pretty affordable, especially when you're just getting started. Right now, there's actually an 80% off discount if you use the coupon code I'll put in the description. So if you're trying to save a little money, that's definitely worth checking out. On top of that, they throw in a free domain for the first year, which is the actual name of your website, like yourwebsite.com. And they also give you something called an SSL certificate, which basically just means your site will show up as secure to visitors. That little lock icon you see in the corner of the browser, that's what SSL gives you. Now, no hosting provider is perfect, and Bluehost does have some limits if you pick one of their cheapest plans. You might run into caps on how much space your site can use, or how many people can visit at once before things slow down a bit. But for most personal blogs, small business sites, and even portfolios, it's more than enough. Now let's talk about GoDaddy. GoDaddy's been around forever, and one thing they do really well is offer a lot of different types of hosting. If you're planning to build something really big down the road, like an online store with hundreds of products, they definitely have plans that can handle that kind of thing. GoDaddy's also known for their domain names, so if you're buying a domain for the first time, you might even already have seen their name pop up. Their hosting is solid, and they've got decent security features too, which can be reassuring if you're worried about hackers or losing data. The one thing some people find tricky with GoDaddy is that their interface, the place where you manage everything, can be a little more confusing if you're brand new to all of this. It's not impossible, but there are more menus, and sometimes it feels like they're always trying to upsell you something, which can get annoying. They're also usually a little more expensive than Bluehost, especially when it comes to renewal prices after your first year. So at the end of the day, which one's better for you? If you're just starting out and you want something affordable, easy to use, and really built to work smoothly with WordPress, Bluehost is probably the better fit. Especially with that discount, it's kind of a no-brainer for beginners. But if you know you're going to need something bigger, or you just prefer to have more advanced options down the line, GoDaddy's worth considering too. No matter which one you pick, the most important thing is to get started. You can always change hosting later if you need to. Your website isn't stuck forever. But for getting your WordPress site off the ground, Bluehost's probably the easiest, most budget-friendly way to do it. And don't forget to check the description for that 80% off coupon if you want to save a little cash. If you've got any questions about setting things up, feel free to leave a comment. Happy to help however I can.